Guys, how are you today? It is Thursday at 4 p.m. exactly. Look at that. We got on right on time. Last time I think Bryce and I got to talking and we were a minute behind. So happy birthday, Annette. I'm glad that you received lots of wonderful things. Today we are continuing with the Christmas Craftaganza 10-piece. And so I guess to be able to talk about a little bit, enjoy your dinner. Thank you, Annette. My thought is that we should probably just do a quick review and look at what we still have left to do for the Craftaganza while we're waiting for people to join in. And you can always watch it later, but you won't know that unless I say that later, huh? So we have today, we have the Coming Home for Christmas. It's the little hedgehog and mouse. I stole it from Debbie. I did. The Christmas classics, the Deck the Halls. Thank you. There's the Lack of Glare. There we have it. We have from the Contemporary Christmas, the Swans. We have this is the Winter Wishes, the Night Before Christmas. We've got Little Teddy, Santa Paws. And this one is from Festive Friends. This one is from Contemporary, and it's called Meowie Christmas. There's the right color. Hi, Mary T. Hi, Glenn. Happy birthday to you too, Glenn. You and Annette twins. Close birthdays. This one is also Festive Friends, and this is a Christmas Wish. And then our last Festive Friends, and it is Snow Much Fun. So there you have it. Okay, so let's see. What did we do last week? My brain is starting to turn into mush between all these cards. So first week we did the Wise Men. The second week, I would have to look at my pile over there. We did the Kingfisher last week. But there was one other one, I believe. Maybe not. Maybe it's just those. We're on number 3. Okay.
Yeah. That's how I counted it.
7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. 3. Okay. All righty. So these are pretty large pieces. And so you're going to find that we're going to make 3 cards. So I probably won't feel so rushed and pressured, but we may get done. We may get done in an hour and a half, but you never know what could go wrong.
Well, let's start it out right.
So
set the expectation.
Set it high. No, so here's what we have today. We've got this little mouse carrying a little lit up acorn lantern for the hedgehog friend. And the hedgehog friend is wearing a nice little cape of snowflake sweater, looks like on her. And so they are super, super cute. And then we have the non-foiled cardstock, which has a picture at the bottom, so you know what that's going to turn into. And then we have our foiled snowflake. Okay. Maybe not. I might change my mind.
Oh, it's already happening.
Okay, guys, give me just a second. So I did not make these ahead of time because I figured, we'll go. It will just take a little bit for each one of these. But in thinking, I'm wondering. Nope, can't fit him in that way. Okay, never mind. I was just kidding. Maybe we'll try one more way. Oh, well, that one is cute. Okay, we will not have a DL card, I don't think. I think we're going to use one of our cards that we have from Hunkydory. We haven't done them. We haven't done one of these before. And so I thought that it would be fun to try a different shape that you guys can get. These are some of the new ones that just came in from Hunkydory. I was trying to find a way to make them work. I thought that it would work with our big circle, and it just wasn't going to cut it. So there may be an opportunity.
Margie, do you need the trimmer back?
No, but if you could hand me the little one that's down there, Bryce,
We're
that's
done with
silver.
it if you want it.
No, your trimmer and I argue. Nope, I won't be able to do it. But this is a really neat card shape, so it's too bad that I couldn't figure out a way to do it. But it does this beautiful little stipper piece that allows it to fold up and sit into a unique kind. It's kind of silver. It's got a silver backing.
You want the silver
Yep,
one?
the big one, please. I know exactly how to count the numbers and how it cuts. Thank you, thank you,
Teeny one.
thank you. Okay, and it's nice and tiny, so that's always nice too. All right, so sorry guys, we're back to the DL. I was hoping it would work out, but it won't.
Glenn asked if we were having a computer glitch because he got an email saying his order was shipped from January 23rd.
Okay, so here's how it works. We've had various different people doing shipping for the last year and a half, 2 years, and somewhere along the way, it got missed that we are supposed to change anything that we refund to after we refund it, we ship it, because that's what we do with them. And that helps keep our inventory on track. And I had noticed that something wasn't quite right yesterday when I was helping Mary with something, and I noticed that that was because one of the person's things were marked as partially refunded. So because of that, I moved everything to shipped that was partially refunded, and you may see a few more come across your desk if you have had more than one refund over the last couple of years. So I'm just kind of going through and doing a few pages at a time, and it's just the way the system is set up. Anytime you touch the orders, it changes them. So you'll get an email, and once it changes it, that is the end. So you will be getting a few. Hi, Thelma. How are you? Thelma says, hi, Debbie. I just heard your voice.
Hi.
Okay, so for the DL, it's a little bit under 4 inches. Let me make sure that it's going to work with this little one. It should. A little under 4 inches. It won't. Ha ha. Well, I think it just wants to give me a hard time today, huh?
I think it's
Mm-hmm.
you jinxed yourself to the game.
I did. Okay, it will not be a DL card. We're going to move on to 5x7. I think we'll go ahead and use one of our Paper Accents glitter cards. And I'm cutting it at 5.5. I think I want a little bit more of the leaf to show, so we'll go to, I said 5.5. It's 4 3/4 is what I'm going to go to in order to give us a little bit more. And then let's take a peek here. And 6 3/4. Cut you right off at the very little top piece, but we're probably going to put that right back on, just a little lower. Okay, so that gives us a nice border. You can see the really pretty pieces around it. And then I think what I want to do is I want to go ahead and put this on the top like this. And then because of the dark writing, we're going to use another one of those white Merry Christmases because it really makes the whole thing shine when you can put them on something dark. And because we have the glitter, I'm going to raise these onto foam squares. Well, I was going to peel them in off camera and just toss them in the garbage, but not going to happen. I'm going to make a mess. Okay. Hi, Mary R. Mary, I would like to know what you did for Bob's birthday.
That was forever ago.
It feels that way with everything going on.
We made him his favorite, well, it's his recipe, but his carrot cake, famous carrot cake recipe, which he had the last piece this morning. We divvied it up and he had one each day almost, which he never tired of. And I think we made him a special dinner. So that was about all we did.
Everything kind of really moved with
Yes.
Debbie's mom.
Yeah, we kind of postponed a big party. So now we just got to see if the rest of the family wants to drive over for that. But we'll see. We might do a little something tomorrow or for Saturday if they're in town still.
Saturday, Debbie is going to be doing another pre-recorded video for Saturday on YouTube. So watch for that, and you can maybe pull out if you've already purchased the kit from before and you haven't gotten around to it, like I have that problem a lot. So you may find that it's helpful to have one out in front, and you guys can just watch it and be reminded of what she did with the items and go through it. Or maybe you set it aside because you didn't have time to complete it, and now it's time to complete it. So. Okay, and there we have a Merry Christmas up there. See how it shines out really nicely with the darker colors behind it? It really works great. Okay, so there is our first little one 5x7 down. One to go. now that I've made this. Okay, so I'm going to use the little mouse with the lantern, little gold ring. And this will be our other 5x7. I wonder. Okay, so I'm looking as I'm laying this out where I want to put it so that I have a little bit of this pretty foil over here on the side. I don't want to foil it up on both sides. So I'm thinking before I do that, I need to make sure I've got enough. Yes, for that one. Okay, I do. So I think yeah. So then what can I put over here on the side? We've got a Coming Home for Christmas, a Merry Christmas, a Let It Snow. So I think I am going to do Let It Snow. As my little saying. And I think that I'm going to just leave a portion of it with, I'm going to cut off, it looks like about 1/2 inch of the light color because I want it to blend over into the dark. And I think too much light is going to knock it off a little bit. It will look a little funny. Okay, so let's take a peek here. Yep, so let's take off about 1/2 inch. That looks about right. And now we can do our setup for 5x7. Can you get me silver 5x7, Mary, or even rainbow will work? Okay, I'm going to go with that 4 3/4 again. Thank you. I'm going to go with 4 3/4. And 6 3/4. And this will be in a 5x7. I'm just going to measure my card because sometimes they come out a little smaller. And a little under 7. So just a tiny bit under 5, probably about 1/16 of an inch. That's what this one measured as. And 16 inches, 1/16 of an inch here. Okay. Hi, Irene. How are you? Thank you, Mary R, for the reminder for thumbs up. I always blame the spell corrector, Irene, for any time that I'm having trouble with typing up my words. Now, the spell corrector is only part of the time to blame.
You're confessing.
But I'm going to blame it anyways. I do notice that it will change some of my words, and it's like, what? It doesn't even make sense in a sentence. How did it come up with that word to drop in there? Okay. Looks like the card is a little tiny bit crooked, so we'll get off that little tiny edge of the extra white. All right, so now we have our mirroring. And this rainbow, I really love how the rainbow works. It picks up the colors that are around it and reflects those. So you can see the blues just popping out there. And then I don't have to go and dig up my blue, right? Because it's going to give it that look of it without actually having to change my color. So the rainbow mirroring is absolutely wonderful, in my opinion. Okay, so we want to do tape flags for this because we're going to put it on and try and center it out. I always put a little bit of tape in the very middle and take it off all the way, and then that way it kind of holds it into place, because sometimes when you pull your tape flags, it moves a little bit, so I always end up feeling like I made a mistake. Okay, so here's my card top, and I'm going to be putting that light snow up here at the top. There we go. Putting this down a little bit lower than we normally would, because I kind of want to make it look like the sun is up above, or we can put it down at the bottom to make it seem like snow, which won't work now that I've put it up on top. So this is the way that it will go now. Should have thought about that before I did it. Okay.
Hi, Brenda.
Hi, Brenda. These are tips that I've learned from my mistakes, you know. But thank you very much. I think I'm going to go ahead and center it and put my Let It Snow on the very bottom. Now we have two borders in here, and I'm tempted to put a border across, but I'm not positive. So I might have to convince myself or talk myself out of it here in just a second. You never know. So one of the things that you can do to see if you want to put your gold piece in, and since I've put the rainbow piece in, maybe a bright thing of gold may not be exactly what I was hoping for, but this doesn't look too busy at all. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use this instead. And it will also allow you to see a little bit of the snowflake there at the back. And I don't need very much. Because my little guy comes out that far, so I literally only need to show a couple snowflakes. See if that will be enough. I think it will. Oh yeah. Okay. Then put it down like that. So we're just going to glue these straight down onto the card. Supper. Oh, Emma asked me for supper all the time for cereal. She just did that last night, and I followed suit because I decided I was way too tired after I was trying to get some things settled in the house. Slowly but surely it's coming together, but I was on my feet from 9 a.m. to almost, it was really close to 11, and I realized that I had forgotten to stop and eat. So I had to stop and eat. And then at that point I stopped because that's the way that it goes. As soon as I stop, I can't go anymore. There we go. That's looking really sweet, isn't it? Okay. So we're going to put on our Let It Snow, and I'm going to actually put it on the ring.
Mary R. asks, how did you forget to eat?
I have this thing that I don't know what caused it, but because I remember being hungry as a kid, but I think for all those years that I did preschool and didn't have time to eat and other things, my tummy doesn't start growling until about 10 p.m. at night most of the time. So it won't growl, it won't tell me that I'm hungry, I'm busy, I'm focused, so I don't think to eat, and it's a bad thing. You shouldn't do it.
She says, I might forget what I ate yesterday, but I don't forget to eat today.
My husband looks at me and says, you didn't eat, did you? And then he tells me off. I'm using some of our blue roll from our gym rolls. They look like this. They're the diamond sparkles. You get an entire meter of, in this particular case, I have all blue because that's what happens to be open and out. But we have some in festive colors. That's really great. And the cost for how much you get is really awesome. So if you haven't had a chance to look at those before, I would give it a shot. I know that we've done them for classes, but so I'm just going to take and put on this is one of those times where I need the super snips. Okay, so I'm separating them out a little bit so that I can cut them, since my scissors are a little bit bigger. But I love how they just kind of stay in a line, and then that way I don't have to worry about lining up my stuff. It's just already there. Ha! Got a piece. Here we go. Just a little something in each corner. And there you go. It's a little small something, but it really does make a difference.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Okay, so
Number 2.
3.
Is that 3?
This is 3.
You're moving on to 3.
I'm moving on to 3.
Right. Completed 2. Moving on to 3.
Yep. Let's see. We have got so many different options here.
Say good night to Thelma.
Good night, Thelma. Actually, I'm pulling this card back for just a second. And I think I'm going to have a little bit of fun with each of these. Put one in each corner. So we've got these little pictures of the mouse. There's just no way I can hold that still enough, I don't think. Yeah, so there's a little one of the mouse. There's a little circle of a hedgehog. Hey, I'm holding it better than I thought I did. Okay. There we go. You get the gist. I think I'm going to put them on the opposite 2 corners. There. I think that finishes it off just a little bit more. It looked a little tiny empty. Okay, so now I'm going back to the sayings and the words. Let's take a look at what we've got. These have this border, and I have 2 different types of colors here. So I think what I'm going to do is I've been contemplating which way I wanted to go with this, so I think I do now. So I tried doing a 7x7 gatefold. Couldn't find one in 7x7 in our store. And so I wanted to make sure that we had something that we had lots of. And so we're going to move to the 8x8. And this little guy fits really nice on there with that 8x8. So I think that that's the way that we're going to head. Technically, I probably could do a little gatefold with this, but it will mean that you'll have a fold in the back of your paper, which we may be able to hide because we have enough of this left over. Okay, we're going to go fancy. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to fold them together so that they join. So it's an 8x8 card, but we're going to break it up. And I know that you've seen Debbie do this before. And we do have 8x8s that are gatefold downstairs. I did not grab them because I couldn't decide how much time we were going to have. And this takes a little bit more talking things through and planning. But I've got an hour to do this card in. So, hey, folks.
Oh, no. In for it now.
Gotta take advantage when you can. Okay, so we're going to have this on the two sides. Can you hand me another thing of, we should probably do gold, Mary.
Gold, Mary?
Yeah. This is what happens when, you do this on the spot. Your mind roves around a little bit. Okay. So,
Is this one too small? I have to get Brittany's stash. Or is that? Couldn't tell if that's. That looks close to 8x8.
Yep, it'll work.
That'll work.
Yep, perfect. Thank you. Okay, let's start with this one first since we've got it right here. We're going to measure it and see how long it is. And it is, I guess I was mistaken in what I said. It is a 7x7, not an 8x8, which is perfect because I wanted the 7x7 and we didn't have any. So I've just made a gatefold with the 7x7 like I wanted. So 3.5. Halfway. Use that. And it's 7 inches long. So out of this, I want to go 7 inches long. Or actually, I wanted a little short of 7. Let's go with 7 3/4. Yeah, that'll be perfect. Okay. So 7 3/4 and then we're going to cut that. Oh man, now I have extra work to do. 7 and, that's supposed to be 6 3/4, number 1. And then number 2, I've got to do the math. What would happen if I go 3.5 and then I cut off both sides to where I want them to be? And I don't have to do fractions in my head. And I know that it should be really easy, guys, but at this moment, I'm drawing a blank for quickness. So I did cut it at the 6 3/4 long. And so now we're going to want to break this down just a little bit on each side. So if I do that, then I want probably 1/8 of an inch off of both. I'm looking at what I've already cut, and that looks about right. So this one I'm doing totally kind of by what I think it should look like.
Mm-hmm. Picture in your head.
Yep. Something like that. this side. Whoop. Almost lost that on the floor. Sorry, guys. I'm going to take a drink of water here really quick. Vanderbilt, Asheville, North Carolina. Okay. I think I missed saying hello to Pinky, so I apologize. Hello, Pinky. One of these needs a little bit more trimming, it looks like. One of these looks exactly perfect, and the other one just wasn't quite eyeballed well enough. Okay. Again. Nope. Little bits at a time, I guess. That should do the trick. Good, good. Okay, perfect. All right, so we're going to do tape flags again. And I'm just going to put them on as one full piece onto the card. So I'm going to use my tape flag here first. Somebody said, and I am not positive of this or not, but somebody said to me that when you go to make your comments, to comment on our YouTube videos, to say whether you liked them, what you liked about them, what was your favorite part, you name it, whatever you want to comment on. It's different than chat, and everyone will see it without having to open up chat. But someone said that they can't do it right away. And so my recommendation would be that with having it switch from what we actually tape it to, we're going through a different program, and then it puts it and drops it into YouTube. And sometimes we can't make comments right away or put something on there, right? It's not automatic, I don't think. Is it, Bryce?
I have not tried to run and put a comment right after we end the stream. I've heard you have to wait for a couple minutes, but that's about
just
it.
A couple minutes. Okay. So I heard from someone that it takes a little bit of time, that they couldn't add their comments. And so just in case, if you could just remember to go back and put comments after we've finished the taping, that would be extremely helpful. Okay, there's one. There's two. Anyways, Debbie's always trying to tell me to please go back and read these, because there's things that I should be reading whenever I do these things. So comments make it extremely helpful for me. And I'll have to go back and start reading the chat after the fact. But I've had to just say, I've been really busy. It's not that I don't want to know. I try and read as I go as much as I can. Just making sure. I'm going to put my straight line against the... Okay. Okay, and now we're going to do it again.
Practice, practice, practice.
Practice, practice. So Emma came home with her first homework yesterday for the school year.
Really?
So they did a lot more kind of getting to know the student, what they like, what they don't like in the stream, and then refresh your browser. It should work. Perfect. Thank you very much, Mary, for that information. And then Irene says she may have to wait an hour or more. So just remember to go back in and just double check at some point in time during the 24 hours.
Yeah.
Hey, you'll be back in it again on Saturday, right? So maybe you could check it then.
Yes.
Or for Wednesdays, you could check that one now. You have lots of opportunities.
Right.
Anyways, so because of beginning to get to know the students at the beginning of the year, the teacher wanted to find out what kind of a learner each child was and kind of where they were along the lines of where they should be. And so that is what his focus had been on. And so he hadn't sent home any homework there was only 2 days, and then last week was the first full week. So as of yesterday, homework came home, and I said, "Hey, Emma, do you have anything in your backpack?" And she said, "Nope, I don't." Well, I was already trying to get her to leave her crayons and her markers and her paints and everything at school in her desk, because that's how they have them set up this year, instead of it going to the teacher and then the teacher divvying it out. And so with that, yep. All right. I'm going to finish my story here in just a second. Okay. When you do these, you'll see that right there, you'll match up your leaves with what's sitting in front of you. So you can tell which one is what based on how they line up. If I went from this direction, they don't line up quite right. And in fact, you almost have a repetitive one right beside it. So make sure that you kind of keep an eye on that. So I want them to go this way. And I'm making it upside down. So that's why my leaves are facing you, so that you can see it right side up. So I didn't look right away because I had just talked to the teacher on Monday, and he had said that he was going to hold off and start doing homework next week. So I didn't think twice about it until I got ready to put something in her backpack last night. And there's a big, huge math book in there. And there's a big list of things that the teacher wanted us to fill out as parents so that they had it handy. And that is great and fine and dandy. But what happened is that Emma was not truthful. So this morning it was, hey, Emma, you need to get your stuff done for school when you get home tonight. And there will be no screen time because you didn't do what was asked of you by your teacher. So we had a little bit of a meltdown this morning, but not much of one. She knew what she did wasn't right, but I hate meltdowns as the first part of school. It's not a way to start your day.
Say good night to Mary R.
Good night, Mary R.
And hello to Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie. Whoop. It moved it just right at the end. Well, shucks. Best laid plans of mice and men.
Sorry.
And in this particular case, literal mice. There we go. All right, so now we're ready to move on to the next part. So here are two pieces. And like I said, we've got this part in the middle where we folded the card in half to make it a gatefold. You're going to see this. Now, if you had an insert, you can put an insert in here. But in this particular instance, we have enough paper to be able to use it as our insert piece. So I'm going to give it, because of the way that it is shaped, see how the folds go up? So I want to make sure that when I do this, I'm putting it in a way that makes sense, as well as that I've got it as an equal border all the way around on the sides, top and bottom. And if I just kind of pop in some of it like this and I cut it, then I'm not guaranteeing anything. So we're going to cut it down just a little bit. You will see a little bit of seam at the top and the bottom. We could probably trick the eye with a border piece here and there. We'll take a look. We may come up with something. Let's see. So this should technically be a 7x7. So I want to cut it a little shy of that. So I'm going to cut it at 6 3/4 to start. Haha. Okay. So 6 3/4 won't cut it. That gives me a little bit under where I need to be. So let's see. This length is 6 3/8 long. So we'll want to cut this side to the 6 3/8 as well. 6. So right now I'm going this direction, and then I don't know. Do I want the snow falling from the sky? Yeah, I think so. I think that should look good. And see how that'll center up quite nicely because we've made it just a little bit. We've made it an equal amount on each side. Since I didn't have a 7x7, it's at 6 3/8 by 6 3/8 to make it as smooth as we can in between the two. So we're going to do the tape flags again. This one's a bigger piece, so I'm putting that piece in the middle. I've even been known to put tape flags around the edge. So in this particular case, I'm going to do it just to show you how I do it, and then you can decide, I don't want to go to that much work, or hey, I like that idea because I have never thought about that part before. But with bigger pieces, it seems like they I feel this fear of them popping up with time. I don't have proof of that. It's just the perfectionist in me that says. So make sure that I have the right piece in the right place. You know, that's darker on the top and lighter at the bottom. That's okay. I think I like the contrast with the snow coming down.
Yep, agree.
There we go. So there's our inside. And this can handle a really big greeting. Now, the last time that I did these greetings, it felt like it took a little bit of work for me to get these on right. So, let's see. Oh, yes. Got season's greetings.
Means that you don't even notice the crease now.
Yeah, it really doesn't show up. It does little tiny when you can see in really, I mean, come on, these are my fingers right here. And I realize that this is really zoomed in, I guess is the point I'm trying to make. And if it really bothers you, you can always just put in a little piece of border up top and bottom and left and right. And then it makes it, yeah. Okay, I think we will go with this red. And you might ask me, why are you going for that when the card is blue? Well, the little hedgehog has red on. So that's why I'm going with it.
Imagine the hedgehog.
Mary? Don't tear, don't tear. Okay.
Can you just post a tape on the table in front of you? Post-it tape. Is there some on the table?
So we have Merry Christmas. And I'm going to take my little one that's right here that has two. It has the picture that's on the front is going on the inside as well, and I'm just putting it right here at the end. Okay. And then you'll still have room to put on. You can either move this down and center it more if you like that idea better, but it will also give you the chance to write your note or your message here. And even though it's dark, I recommend a white gel pen and let it dry. Just super cute on the inside. So now we've done it with the inside, and now we have the outside to do. Can you hand me one more thing of Mary, please? I'm sorry.
What color?
Gold. Okay, so in order to do the outside, we have to get this to work with what we've got going on. And so to give it a little bit more strength, because we're going to put it on here, and then you're going to open this up. And so we want to make sure that we have a good solid backing for it for this part. And I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was off camera. Okay, so when you put this on, we don't want it to be flimsy in any way. We want it to be able to feel nice and sturdy. So we're going to use a piece of gold Miri. For that piece. Thank you. think, yeah, I think I'm going to leave this level and glue these two pieces to the Mary and then cut it out and just use the middle piece as my pop-up piece. Could have kept them together instead of pulling them apart.
Good.
But that's okay. I was hoping to get a different kind of card design out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, now here goes my cutting abilities, which we have covered before. So I'm going to cut it out a little bit, and then we'll go from there. I actually make a better circle than I do a straight line, so that should say something about the way that I cut. It's like paint drying, right? Watching paint dry. Thanks a lot, Bryce. You're not supposed to agree. You're supposed to say, no, it's completely entertaining that you're going so slow around this circle. Technically, I probably could have used a round die out of the set that Debbie has behind us. But by the time that I get all that out, I figure I'm pretty close to the same amount, and at least you guys get to be slightly entertained in the process. You held your breath with me, right? See? How do I not believe you? So, anyways, I've got paperwork now that I have to fill out for school tonight when I get home.
So you have homework.
So I have homework because there's some stuff that they want to know about your child. Just, hey, how does she learn best? What do you think that she has trouble with the most? And things like that. So one of my favorite ones is this one. In some of the questions, they had questioned the child as well. I'm more likely, so they had multiple choice. And one is I'm most likely to get in trouble for being too talkative, being messy, being getting frustrated and angry with friends easily. And then there was one more. I can't remember what the third one was, but whatever, or the fourth one was, whatever one it was not the talkative one. And she's kind of related to her family, and she started talking almost as soon as she started walking, and she was 7 months at walking. So talking happened early.
It hasn't stopped since.
Hasn't stopped since, which is quite all right by me. Okay, so now I've made my circle. I've glued this along the outside. I've cut out my circle. I've put this up on foam squares, and now see the back? It's nice and pretty and gold. And so then when we go to open this, it's going to look really pretty on the inside. So you don't just see the back, and it gives it a lot of sturdiness. And it looks like it was specially made just for this, and nobody knows how much trouble you put into it. Okay, so for this, I'm going to glue it on versus taping it on, just so that I get that extra sturdiness, but I want to make sure that I have it where I want it on the page.
Lorraine says she uses her craft knife to do the job.
Haha, that's a good idea. Okay. So I just put my needle nose just right inside the line underneath, and I just kind of pulled it for the radius of the circle, and then that way I can put as much glue and not have to worry about making a mess. And I'm going to put a little bit right here on that Miri because it is one level down, so I want it to stick there and not accidentally start popping up. And why glue? Because like I said, it gives you a little bit of a closer it's going to be less likely to pop up than the tape, in my opinion. Now that's just an opinion. That is not, I haven't done a study on it. No, it's not research based, but you know. Okay, so here's our little card. Inside, Merry Christmas. And I thought that just for fun, because we've had so much fun doing the heartfelt before with the poinsettias, that it is going to be really pretty to put a couple of them around on the front. I want to go one bigger. Okay. So
That's the last one.
Bryce very quietly whispers, "Mute." Not that my phone isn't off, because mine is totally on, and I totally forgot to turn mine off. So I have to just laugh because it's going to go that way for me too.
At least it isn't Rocky.
It's not Rocky. I think it's trying to give me a hard time. So just in case you haven't watched the heartfelt video, the blue glitter is made by using the dies and punching out the shape of the poinsettia leaf. And I thought that it would give a good little backing to it. Because, I mean, if we're going to go for this big, huge, fancy card, the least that we can do is go big, right?
That's right. Go big or go home. I was just about to say that.
Well, I'm home. I mean, I'm going home. And if you want to, you can put some down in here too. And it would be just fine, because when you open it, then you're going to see this page before you open to the next. So I recommend throwing on a couple leaves. And I'm not going to do 3 though. I'm just going to put one of the bigger ones on. And I happen to know for a fact that this is not going to be dry when I hold it up. So I'm going to probably hold it up, and then you're going to watch the poinsettias fall. But I can always put them back on. So here's our final card. And then you open it up. You've got this pretty gold on the back. You could even go through, and since we have this extra piece of border, you can run that along the edge of the gold back here, or you can run it here against the edge of the card. So you can use that as well. In fact, I probably will do it after I say goodbye to you guys so that I can finish it off, because I think that's a good idea. But it is 5:18 now, 5:19 now, and so let's take a look. Again, I showed it at the very beginning. Starting next week, Debbie says that we are back to the regularly scheduled program. So she'll be back in full force on Saturday. We're going to do another rerun of a previous kit. Excuse me. And so hopefully you can pull out your kits if you still have them around and
ink pads.
And do what?
It's the ink pads.
Oh, it's the ink pads. Okay, the Lisa Horton ink pads. Okay. So if you have got your Lisa Horton ink pads by now you can have the opportunity to play with them and have a little bit of fun along with her. So that's what we have. So this is what's left of our Craftaganza. And we have the Festive Friends, Snow Much Fun, the Festive Friends, A Christmas Wish, Contemporary Christmas, Meowie Christmas, Festive Friends, Santa Paws, The Night Before Christmas. This is the Winter Wishes. We have the Contemporary Christmas with Love at Christmas, and then a Christmas Classic that Deck the Halls. So We have these that are left. And so on Saturdays, you're looking at doing how many sets, Debbie? 2 sets on Saturdays and 1 set on Thursdays for the rest of the month. So we will be getting through to all the rest of these as we go over the next couple of weeks. And that, I believe, is it. So
I want to show them what you completed.
absolutely. So we have this one, which I'm a little nervous. I'm just going to lay that one down. I'm a little nervous about it drying quite yet. There we go. There we go. Oh. So these are the ones that we made today. Does anybody have any questions? Anything that you would like to know that I didn't cover? Thank you very much, Irene. I appreciate it. Thank you, Brenda. They're so much fun. They're really, I thought you could make it really cutesy or you could make it really beautiful. And I even think that a little bit of stickles in your snow dots on some of these would really brighten it up a little bit more, especially this one here. If you wanted to put some stickles in the snow parts, I think it would look really great. So if there are no questions, and as Debbie puts it, questions, comments, pearls of wisdom, don't forget to thumbs up and remember to go back and check some of your last week's videos and yesterday's video and make any comments that you can and add that and make your comments. One person recommended refreshing your browser after we've signed off, and then you should be able to make comments. So hopefully those comments come in handy too, just like the thumbs up. So thank you for taking the time to do that. And I think we're off. Thank you and have a great rest of your evening.